Hello and welcome to This Week at the Movies. My name is Matt, and I am going to be talking about a couple of new wide releases this week, as well as a film that I previously mentioned that was in limited release at the end of 2025 that's getting a wider release this weekend that may be a great option for you. But it is the first full weekend of 2026 off of the first full week of 2026. So we are getting new releases, both in theaters and on streaming, and that is the good news. But which of them is worth checking out? Well, one of the biggest new releases in theaters is the horror movie Primate. It's generated a lot of buzz. It is basically about a an ape named Ben who has been part of the family for years, who has learned to communicate, who is just a treasured member of this family led by Adam, played by Troy Kotzer, and his two daughters, Lucy, played by Johnny Sequoia, and Aaron, played by Gia Hunter. They have gone through their own tragedy as their mother and his wife, and the one who really taught Ben language and brought him into the home has passed away. Now, Lucy is returning from college, kind of a little bit of time away and estrangement from her family in the wake of this tragedy. She's bringing a few friends: Hannah, played by Jess Alexander, Kate, played by Victoria Wyant, and her brother Nick, played by Benjamin Chang. They're all hanging out at this kind of palatial mansion that the family has in Hawaii that's also isolated and away from everything, and has an infinity pool leading to an infinity cliff, and has its own little animal preserve. And, seems like a cool place. We spend a little bit of time with these characters, kind of having fun, and then Ben goes off the rails. Turns out something happened to him. The opening of the film kind of gives away what's going to happen to him. And then some crazy shenanigans ensue while Adam, played by Kotzer, is away promoting a book on a book tour. He eventually comes back. There are some interesting sequences. This is a really over-the-top gore fest. I would say that there is not a lot of investment in character, but that's okay because these characters aren't really worth investing in. This comes from writer-director Johannes Roberts, who has given us a lot of different horror films over the years. He had an entry in Resident Evil, the 2021 Welcome to Raccoon City, that wasn't incredibly well received. He had an entry into the Strangers franchise, the 2018 version of the Strangers, Prey at Night. He's also responsible for 47 Meters Down and its sequel. If you liked those films, you will probably be at home here. There is definitely some cool sequences. They do make the most of Kotzer and his unique presence as an actor. Even one of the sequences that I actually thought was a little bit funny and a little bit edgy and interesting. There is some really grotesque, over-the-top violence in some of these attack sequences and kills. It ends up being kind of a weirdly sad story too. I'm giving it thumbs down. This just didn't work for me. This was not my cup of tea. This was not how I wanted to start the year. uh, you know they have shown a lot in the marketing campaign of audiences being shocked or grossed out, and I totally 100% understand that. Aside from that, they're trying too hard. Some of the dialogue here hits like a ton of bricks in the wrong way. Maybe a clever idea. It's mercifully short. It's less than 90 minutes, so you're kind of in, out. It's a quick hitter. Uh, about the kind of horror movie you would expect in early January. For diehard horror movie fans, again, there's going to be something that you like here. This just did not work for me. One of the other big wide releases of the weekend that's new is People We Meet on Vacation. This is the new streaming romantic comedy. It is on Netflix. It dropped on Friday. It is based on the novel from Emily Henry. Obviously, a very popular author who writes a lot of different romance novels who are about to be adapted into films. I was curious to see how this one was going to go. It basically focuses on two friends, Poppy, played by Emily Bader, and Alex, played by Tom Blythe, who over a series of years had become friends and vacation buddies, but they are coming together as we open this film after a couple of years apart, after a misunderstanding had driven them apart. They are coming together to go to a wedding. We're kind of seeing some of the history of their relationship, how they met, how they kind of went through in some flashbacks throughout the film. But the big question is what happens now with this relationship between Poppy and Alex? And you know what? These are the kind of movies you know where it's going. You know, the friends who go through a period of estrangement, are they really meant to be more than friends? You know where it's going. This isn't about the destination. This is a film that's about the journey. How much do you invest in the characters? How much do you invest in their journey? Is it fun? Is it engaging? And this movie hits all of those things. I really liked Emily Bader in the short-lived TV series My Lady Jane, which aired in 2024 and was unceremoniously canceled by Prime Video. I thought she was utterly charming in the lead there. I really enjoyed her in that role. And so I'm excited to see her back kind of in a film here where it gets to capture on some of that charm and some of the things that I liked there. She plays very well off of Blythe. This one gets a big thumbs up from me. I had a lot of fun with this. I think it is a good date kind of movie too, and it's nice on the streamer. It's a nice, easy watch. There are some fun and funny sequences. It moves at a good pace. It gets you invested in these characters. You know where you're going to end up, but you can't help but root for them to get there by the end. And that is the kind of success you're looking for in a film of this kind. I had a lot of fun with it. One of the early wins of 2026 in the film range, and a great addition to the Netflix library. Last movie I want to touch on, I mentioned this one toward the end of the year, and that is the film from Bradley Cooper, Is This Thing On? It features Will Arnett as a man going through a separation from his wife, played by Laura Dern, who ends up sinking himself into stand-up comedy that helps to center himself and give himself a creative outlet. This one launched in limited release toward the end of 2025. I thought it was one of the best comedies of 2025. I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. This one got a big thumbs up from me at the time, still getting a big thumbs up. It is now actually going into wide release. It is out everywhere this weekend now in 2026. You have a chance to check it out. I think Will Arnett is great in the lead role. I really enjoyed his back and forth with Laura Dern. There are some moments that are funny. There are some moments of good comedy that worked for me, but there is also a real emotional core here that I think is something the film taps into and does a nice job with. Really enjoyed that. There is a closing sequence that I thought was really engaging and really memorable. So if you want to head to the theaters and you're looking for something fun and uplifting, I think Is This Thing On is well worth checking out. If you're a big horror fan, you may enjoy Primate. I did not, as I mentioned, give that one a thumbs down. But if you're at home looking for a good option to stream, People We Meet on Vacation, a lot of fun as well. So we have launched into 2026. A lot of options out there for people. So I hope you have fun checking something out. That'll do it for me this week. I will be back next week talking about some new movies that are opening the second weekend here in January as we get things going, and probably some more films that opened in limited release that I touched on at the end of 2025 that you're getting a chance to see now in wide release. We are getting ever closer to Academy Award nominations, so we'll talk about some of the landscape there, probably talk about some of the Golden Globe winners next week. Golden Globes are on Sunday night, so be sure to check that out. Until then, I'll see you at the movies.